Yes, that's right. Yes. My father was always talking about the aeroplane. But you were coming out of it, yes. This is my son, Kingsley. He was Kingsley, was my son.
This is Ramon.
Nathan Houseman, I'm Jensen.
I've got somebody's in Coombe. The aero station's down to Coombe. It makes really sort of lights and all sorts of things. Stop flying. You stop flying. You flying over that. Now, what do you want to
So
do?
you like to sit down and you can just have a chat before you get out of that?
I don't know why I flicked my watch, but I think I know now why.
Oh, please, you darling.
They only arrived this morning from publishers. I ran out of them the other day.
Oh,
I
right.
just didn't get out my pen.
It's a lovely
Maybe I
spot.
left the posters with Nancy. Which
Candy cool.
keep reminding me of that. What's my name again?
How many did you have, Lee?
Just the two boys.
Just the two boys.
Yes.
How many? Two.
And then two grandsons and two great-grandsons. Couldn't get a
Do you
girl in
remember
there.
Jane, what did your husband do? What was he in?
We had a shop, no, you would know, on the corner of Lanning Road and New South Head Road.
Lanning Road, remember
At
that.
New South Head Road, right on the corner, he imported handmade rugs from Persian, Turkish, Pakistani, Chinese.
Some
A lot of Chinese. Yeah.
There you are. Remembering her jump.
Bless you, my darling. Thank you very much.
Brave girl.
Oh, well, isn't that something for my great-grandsons, like
What year was it?
37 and 38?
I'll put that
Were
on.
you at the,
I'll go back
at the-
beyond.
you weren't in, I won't interrupt you. Isn't that sweet?
Yes.
Jumps.
Oh, aren't you a
Just so
sweetheart?
that if it does go on to great-great-grandsons,
Oh, it will.
at least they've got the date.
Oh, it will, thank you.
And
Yes, you weren't at
You
the
got
air
children
show
of your
on
Ramon?
Australia Day 1938.
no, I was,
26th of January.
no, I was out
32
and I
and
went to Europe in the end of 30.
Right, right. You were in a powder puff race at one stage.
Oh,
I
three
remember.
times I've been.
Yes,
I was the first foreigner to ever be in it.
yes, I remember that. Did you ever come across Frida Thompson?
Frida Thompson, I knew her well. Of course I did.
Really?
Yes, she flew at that time.
Yes.
She's one of the few girls that flew before the war.
That's
Yes.
well.
And
We
Nancy
belong,
Lyle.
we belong to the same club, the Royal Victorian Aeroplane.
Oh, did.
Yes.
Oh, you're Victorian, are you?
Yes, and Frida Thompson, yes.
Yes, Frida was a very nice girl. I actually stayed with the Thompsons. I knew her sister too, Claire Emmett.
That's right, she had a sister Claire.
Is there more names?
Yeah.
Hey.
Oh, dear.
And of course, Frida.
Brings us
What,
back,
what can I
okay.
say? A small world?
Isn't
you
it?
know?
She flew
Yes.
in a little moth flew
Yes.
into Australia, which
Yes.
is no mean feat.
Did you
Yeah.
have
Someone
a
else taking
process
over.
that was strange?
Yes, I knew her quite well.
What was your first aeroplane?
Gypsy moth.
Gypsy moth,
Gypsy, was
yeah.
it? Yeah, I learned in a Gypsy. Yeah.
Pardon?
I learned to fly in a Gypsy too.
Yes, well, that's-
ULC was the one that I was.
Small world.
ULC.
Amazing.
After all
A
those
gypsy
years.
moth?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Had the upright cylinders.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. I've got a book actually on gypsy moths.
Have you?
Yes. It's practically the history of early flying days. So everybody flew a gypsy moth.
Exactly, yes.
Yes, I've got it in my little room. I was looking at it only yesterday. I offered it to the new editress of the Women Parts magazine. I thought she might like to have it for reference because it's got a list of all the women parts and their numbers, you know, so when somebody tells you their mother flew the Atlantic during the war years, you can look up and see when she got a licence. No woman flew the Atlantic during the war years, even though some grandchildren claim their grandma did.
Oh, right. Yes.
No woman flew in Australia except Nancy Lyle, who used her little Hornet moth when the Air Force, before the Royal Air Force got their act together to give the Beaufort gunners range finding practice. And the
Yes, they
only
didn't make much use
information we
of
got
it.
about it was from the bow finders. So it's, it was never recorded. She was an exceedingly modest person and only did it for a very short while, of course, because then the Royal Air Force immediately took that sort of thing over.
Yes.
When they were in dire straits, it was Nancy Lyon who came to their aid.
Yes. In America and Britain, they used women pilots a lot for the
Great.
ferrying
Yeah.
aircraft, etc. But not in Australia.
Well, because we were not an aircraft-producing country, we had to send our own boys to Canada to have them trained. Now we're closing down all the flying schools, and I don't know what we're going to, where we're going to send them. Training Chinese and Malaysians in Western Australia.
And Singaporeans and up in
We're
Brisbane.
going to have Indians and Chinese pilots flying our airlines if we don't do something. Just a terrible destruction of aviation now. I've just been out of Camden, make you cry, you see what's happening to even the gliding there, and that's the first step a lot of people make towards flying.
Yes, that's
They're
right.
making it
Yes.
so expensive to get our pilots right.
Well, a lot of people are going for what they've got a new category called light sport aircraft, and the costs will be greatly reduced for those aircraft because you can work on them yourself. You don't have to pay a licensed aircraft maintenance engineer, and you can build the aeroplane yourself, and you get a light sport aircraft license, which doesn't allow you to fly into Mascot amongst all the big stuff or anything like that, but you can fly. And I think that's the way that it's going to have to go in Australia here because of the costs involved.
Yes, well, gliding is a way too, you seem to be doing, isn't it? I've got a couple of letters in my room. You might like to see a letter from the president of the gliding club at Captain of exactly what is happening there.
Yes. My son's done is flying, gliding,
Oh, well,
and
has
they
he?
can keep it.
Oh, well,
And
then
my
he can
daughter
tell you
also.
all- He can tell you all the places they have now, yes.
And because the parts don't have to be tagged and certified, and there's not a trail of paperwork that goes with the part. Cars back.
Oh, Frida died years ago.
Aeroplanes back
Years ago.
about $38.
What about this?
She wasn't killed, no. And Flip died too.
Yeah,
Was the
below,
There was the youngest.
Yes.
2 hours, 1 hour
I'm
drive.
90.
We were there about quarter past.
What a year.
Yes. So we have to be away by quarter past. We have to be away. You recording all this?
Dear. Tell me,
Competed at the park and flying
what
into
about
Australia.
Essendon Strange died a long while ago.
What is it with the...
But also, got the room out at Qantas there booked from 2
What is it
until...
with them all dropping off and leaving waiting?
Well, you see, that's the luck of the game. It's a great privilege to reach an old age. Yes, Essendon Strange. I don't know what happened to her. Oh, I think it was just illness and age.
Yeah, years ago there was Nancy Edwards.
I remember her too.
She died.
Yes.
So,
All those early people I remember. You see, I was in Smith in 1933, from 33 to 35.
Where was that, at Mascot?
Yes.
you had a wonderful son.
Yes. Well, I was with all those people who really were.
Yeah, the history.
The pioneers and the legends, you know.
Yeah.
P.G. Taylor and so on, you know.
What a brave fellow he was.
Yes.
Oh,
And
dear.
John Flynn used to call me my dear child, he'd say. My dear child. Nancy, my dear child.
Wonderful memories and wonderful for your children.
Oh, my children. At all.
Neither am I. If you want to know, my two don't like heights.
My son learned to fly. 2 of my grandchildren went solo, but my daughter said, granddaughter said, my first solo was a crosswind landing, and this wind changed direction. Of course, that's the one horror that might happen to you when you're on your first solo. That should the wind change, those days when Mascot, you know, when you did the same circuit over and over again. And she said when she got out of the aeroplane, she never wanted to fly again.
Oh, Lord.
And getting out to Mascot in those days, or Queenstown, I think it was, at 7 o'clock in the morning to fly and do a job at 8:30 or 9. You're going to be darn keen to do that, aren't you?
You probably went out along O'Riordan Street, which had the tannery there.
That's it.
Do you remember
Oh,
that? Tannery,
yes.
tannery. Oh,
That was our
I can remember that from a kid.
But
yeah.
base leg, you turn onto base leg, you smelt the tannery, and that was where you turned onto
That's
base
gone,
leg.
thank goodness.
Yeah.
But you're a bit higher when you lost the instructor, and so you had to do your S-turns all the way in. Now we're not allowed to do S-turns, are you? Remember the days when we used to do our figures of 8 around the windsock,
Oh, yeah.
the 2 windsocks?
Nothing to worry about. When I was a kid, I can remember at Mascot, probably in about 1941 or 42, I saw 2 aeroplanes crash within about 10 minutes of each other. A southerly buster, and of course there were a lot of, and the wind was really howling, dusting. And one chap came in solo. Of course, they were all
Where
doing
was
a lot
he?
of training at Mascot,
At Mascot.
and to keep the airplane on the ground, he was keeping his tail up high, etc., etc. And I think he overdid it a bit, because next thing he rolled over onto his back, over his nose. But another chap came in, and he effected quite a good landing, and he was taxiing in. And suddenly he went up onto one wingtip. It's the smallest circuit I've ever seen done in an aeroplane. With his wingtip on the ground, he went around in a 360-degree circle and then flopped down on his back, all within about 10 minutes of each other. Southerly buster came in. Now, if your daughter had seen that, she would have given up
Yeah.
flying.
Yes, that's true. Well, I've flown when you had to have somebody on the wing to get out. Dan Collins used to say to me, get out and fly in this, Nancy. You don't want to be a fair weather pilot.
Yes. Remember the train line that used to run across the end of the
Yes.
approach there?
Yes.
Eventually a DC-3 and the locomotive had a taxiing crash, not a
Well, when you
high-speed
talk
crash.
about DC-3s, you're talking modern aircraft to me.
Oh, yes,
I
yeah.
don't belong to that period of time.
Yeah.
Go back a lot further.
Did you fly the Tiger Moth?
No, I've never, I ever flown a Tiger Moth? I think I have. I saw Bobby Lee Brown, the first one. Came
Oh, well,
to
then you've
Australia.
flown swept-wing aircraft. You see, you are modern. You've flown swept-wing aircraft then, because they had swept-back wings.
I flew Gypsy Moths. I
Gypsy
don't know
Moth had
whether I
straight
flew-
wings.
I must have flown a Tiger, because I don't think they had anything else at Bankstown after the war. And I flew there for a little while. At least I was going to fly. I decided against it. I flew with May Casey early in the piece, and there was a cabin aircraft, Fairchild.
Casey's from Victoria?
Yes.
Yeah, they
That's
belong
where
to
Kate
the,
Parker for a
they,
while.
they
She was
had
the
all.
course of my comeback 25 years after I'd given up the license,
Oh.
and to fly in the Powder Puff Derby. And no, I had a Leopard Moth, and when you've got your own aircraft, there's not much incentive to collect
Yeah, to use others.
endorsements on other aircraft.
No, that's right. You just fly your own.
In other words, you don't want to pay to fly when you've got your own aircraft. You'd rather it's cheaper.
Mm.
And the Leopard Moth was a good aircraft.
Mm.
Every hour I was ever flew it, I was paying it off, but eventually
It's very much like the Puss Moth, wasn't it?
it was an improvement on the Puss Moth. It was a,
Pilot sat in
Make
the
it-
front and 2 seats behind, wasn't it?
yes, the Puss Moth had a habit of losing its wings,
Oh,
and they redesigned it and brought out the Leopard.